Hey guys, welcome to a PerkinsPlay review. This is actually our first review, and we have Luke O'Rourke and Rick Beck, who have played Infamous Second Son on launch day. My name is Jack McNenny.
I'm Derek Kruk.
Oh, I'm Luke O'Rourke.
I'm Rick Beck.
Alright, and let's dig into it. So, both of you have played the first two games in the series, Infamous 1 and Infamous 2 on the PlayStation 3. To me, it seems like the biggest difference between this and the other ones is the graphics improvement on the next gen. So, would you say this game has improved in a lot of other aspects as well, or is this another face for the PS4 to show, what it can do?
Well, I honestly, I feel like, like you said, it's a game where, Sony was going to show off what the PS4 can do. It's a pretty game. It's gorgeous. As of right now, we're watching, Delson just run around Seattle. And it's a pretty game. It shows off what the PS4 can do. But I wouldn't say exactly that it's just another entry to the series. It does evolve. The game is faster. It feels less clunky, I would say, than the first two. Mm-hmm. And I think it has improved on multiple aspects, not just graphics.
Yeah. Everything just seems a lot smoother. Did you feel like the controls were just as great and fluid as the first two games? Everything just seems to flow pretty naturally with Delson flying around with smoke and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely faster and more fluid, but I don't feel like it's anything that couldn't have been done on the PS3. Like gameplay-wise, I don't feel like it's a real like next gen big jump in just how it feels.
How do you feel about like the map size of it, like exploration-wise?
I felt that the size was fine. It was adequate. I mean, they even introduced a fast travel mechanic to speed it up even more. I mean, I think like without the fast travel, it still takes several minutes to get, from one side of the map to the other.
Yeah.
I don't know, Derek. I was a little disappointed in the size. Just because, like, here, we're watching Delson run around, and you can't even get up the Space Needle, and that is such a cool, iconic.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, I was disappointed by that, and I am kind of disappointed in the size. If you're gonna make a game faster, they don't do anything with a monorail, or they don't, like I said, they don't, do anything with the Space Needle. I was kind of disappointed in the fact that, hey, you're faster, you have neon, you have other powers that we won't touch upon in this review, but the fact that you can't run up the Space Needle, I was kind of like, oh, come on, what the heck?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely talking about the gameplay and how it feels and how fast you can get around the map, and in a lot of ways, this kind of reminds me of other open world sandbox games, like Prototype or something. But games like that had a horrible story. I did not like it all. Talk about the story a little bit. I don't know too much about it. How'd you feel about it?
I liked the story. It was, I don't know, not a large departure from the first two. It was fairly similar, I felt. You're still going around the city, freeing each district from the control of, instead of gangs, it's this time the DUP, who are, basically a military organization. So it's a similar story. I thought it was better. I thought the characters were better, more fleshed out, more fully realized.
Yeah, I felt like definitely, like, from what I've played and some of the story I've seen, it seemed like the characters seemed more believable, and like if you were to get these powers, you would be losing it. You would be enjoying it. You'd be going around. You'd be trying to push yourself to the limits, and I felt like this character definitely had more of a personality to him. And Delson seemed much less monotone compared to what Cole felt like in the last games. Like he felt more just like I don't know, just less personality to him than what Delson is.
And Dare, I think they're right on the head. I agree. I think Delson is a more well-rounded character. In terms of story, though, I was a little underwhelmed. Yes, like we touched upon earlier, this was a game that was supposed to show off what the PS4 can do. It's supposed to show off, the beautiful graphics and the gameplay. Even though there were some touchy parts, like right here, we're watching Delson. He's like, they had some touchy
gamepad.
I don't know why they implemented that, but going back to the story, not getting off too off track here. The story in itself, I felt like it was underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask Rick, what do you feel about the karma system?
It's basically ripped straight from 1 and 2. It's, identical. You have levels of good and evil karma. You're more or less forced to pick one and stick with it, or you just can't get upgrades from any of your powers.
Right.
So, you cannot play Shades of Grey even if you want to. Which, I don't know.
What's Shades of Grey?
Just like in the middle. Shades of Grey.
Jack thought you were talking about 50 Shades.
No, not 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
Just like not black or white. Just
right.
Was there much difference between like good or evil, or did you really feel like the powers?
Oh yeah, because I did good. Rick does evil.
Yeah, so did you really feel like you need to play through this again to be evil because there's so much more? Like the powers are so cool being evil, or the powers are cooler being good, or do you feel like it was kind of like, the only thing that was different was the color, and that was about it?
No, I think it definitely plays differently. Like they cater to different play styles because you get different upgrades based on if you're good or evil. So I think a lot of people will be able to play through it twice. Once for each morality choice, and enjoy it. Not everyone will, like it enough to do that. But it definitely adds replay value for those that do enjoy it and want to see different versions of the powers.
Right, because we were saying it Delson looks so cool.
Yeah,
with you see him change over time. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, when we just switch between our saves and see the differences in his outfits and powers and whatnot.
Alrighty, well, I know we had just been talking about powers and things like that. How did you guys feel about the powers? Like, were they actually unique amongst each other, or do you feel like they were pretty similar and, like, when you powered up and things like that, were there actually differences amongst those?
Well, there's four powers, and I think they all do the job correctly they all do their job where you can all move quickly with them, you can move around the map with them, but that being said, in terms of combat-wise, they are different. They do... Some are heavier, some are lighter, some are more finesse. So yeah, I do feel like they're different, but they all do the job. They're all specifically created by Sucker Punch to make a faster environment.
Yeah, I agree. I think they play differently enough that you actually do want to use all of them. Like, you don't just find the one you like and stick with it. Like we're showing right now, the Neon is it's all about, sniping, and like it's more long range, precise, whereas the Smoke has more like bigger, explosive attacks.
Can you blow smoke out of your ass? Is that a power?
No. Maybe in DLC.
Blow Neon out of your ass.
Yes, I would love that. Someone tell Sucker Punch to make that new game.
Make that a new game. A whole new game committed to that.
Yes. Just in terms of controls, what are you guys feeling? I know we said fast. Please don't say anything more about how fast it is. But Derek, what do you feel that how the graphics, how the controls feel?
I really liked the controls of it. I felt like once you got used to it, really learned the powers and things like that, it was it was pretty flawless actually. Like I felt like, especially in combat wise, I could move really fluidly throughout it. I didn't feel clunky. It wasn't like like I really couldn't move around in it. I felt like it was really well done. And touchpad wise, I felt was, it's got some work still to do, but I still felt like it was a cool way to implement it. Just you know, you know, they didn't use a lot, but I feel like maybe that was for the best in this game was you don't want to overdo the touchpad. Like, it is a new thing, and you don't want it to be, you know, this game to be based around a touchpad. So I felt like it was just, you know, you got to use it, but it wasn't huge in this game.
Right. You don't want to like fucking layer where, you know, they require the 6 axis.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing those like stupid like,
Rick,
you know,
what are
stop things.
What are your 2 thoughts?
I think they did overuse it, honestly. You use it every time you need to drain an element from the environment.
Right.
Which you do a lot, obviously. I don't know. Like, there are open buttons on the controller that could be used,
right.
And I think it would just feel more natural. But I don't know.
It was kind of cool though. I mean, like the very little that I've played, which by the way I feel like the controls were pretty great. It was like immediately you feel like you can, you know, fly around the city. And while my combat skills were pretty bad, it was still like it felt good. It felt
as
good
is
to move
tradition.
around. Oh yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I used the touchpad a little bit, and I kind of liked it. You know, you press on it, the controller vibrates, and you hear like a noise in the speaker of like that certain element. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It feels like you're almost absorbing it with your thumb a little bit.
Voice acting, Delson. I know we really liked him. What was our thoughts on voice acting?
I mean, just cutscene wise, like they, you know, the like
facial recognition.
Yeah, the
facial
face capture and animation
really
was great. Yeah, it was very good, and it, you know, synced up with the voice acting very well.
Yeah, a lot better than I've seen in other games.
Yeah. There's specific cutscenes where I was just like, wow, like that, great.
How about Mr. Troy Baker himself?
Yeah, Luke, your man crush, Troy Baker. How did you feel he did in this?
You know, I said to you guys earlier, like, every time I think of Troy Baker, I think of Booker. Like, I couldn't, like, when you guys said, oh, it's Troy Baker, I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you guys serious? Like, what is he not in now?
Exactly. I couldn't help but think this was Saints Row the whole time. Like, seriously, his voice just sounds way too similar.
Yeah.
But you didn't realize it was Troy Baker, though.
That's true. So, yeah,
I mean, that's a testament to how good he did.
That's true.
He did a very good job making it unique.
Now, Derek, I know you did a whole project on the audio. What were your thoughts on the audio?
I mean, I thought audio-wise, I mean, obviously quality was fantastic, especially PS4-wise. They have so much more room now to work with. Like, they have so much more memory they can work with when, you know, putting audio into this. And I felt like, especially special effects-wise, the powers sounded fantastic. I thought... you know, especially not having any sort of, you know, relation to anything in our world or anything you could compare the sounds to. I felt that they did it really well, where I felt it was believable and it wasn't this goofy sound like, you know, neon and smoke. Like, you know, you'd expect those to sound pretty wimpy and weak. Like, yeah. But I felt that they did a really good job of making them sound like, you know, powerful. Like, you know, they were cool powers to use, and you could really. I felt they did a really good job of making that like known while you would play. Like you really could hear.
And the in-game
how
music
cool
was awesome. I was like, you know, we go back to Seattle and, you know, the grungy rock, but it was cool to like, you know, the run around and, you know, hear all the cool guitar strings. And... All right, guys. Final verdict for Infamous Second Son. Derek, you want to lead us off?
I think overall my score would probably be about an 8 out of 10. I thought that other than the story, they did a really good job with powers. It was definitely entertaining, and I think overall a really good, I'd say a good example to kind of show off the PS4's powers, and a definite buy for a PS4 if you have one.
Yeah, I agree. Me, Luke, I also give Infamous Second Son an 8.5 out of 10. Like Derek said, it gives PS4 owners a good chance to see what the PS4 can do, and like also Derek's pointed out, you know, the story isn't quite up to par. It's quite not a next gen experience, but that being said, it's pretty, it plays well, and it's fun to play.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 as well. It's a great game to show off to your friends, to say, hey, look what my new PS4 can do. It, like Luke said, is a lot of fun. It's, the powers are great. The story's passable. It's fine. So, 8 out of 10.
Alright, so there you have it. I didn't get to play the game as much as I should have, so I'm not going to give it a score. But there you have it. We have 2 8s and an 8.5. So thanks for watching Perkins Plays. We'll see you next time. Tickle me sideways.